And welcome into Central Standard Time.
Yeah.
Time changes always mess with me. They always do.
Me too. I forgot to set one clock.
Mm-hmm.
I went and set all the electronic ones. You know, every kitchen appliance has a clock now.
Sure.
And you're running, trying to get them all to be at the same time.
You got to set the oven clock. You have to set the microwave clock. You have to set the coffee maker clock.
Yeah.
And what else?
Oh, there's another one.
Does the air fryer have a clock in it too?
Well, our air fryer is a grease fryer, and it's in the closet.
Gotcha.
But I forgot to set one. Oh, and then all the washes. Forgot to set one.
Sure.
Forgot to set the bedside clock with the bright red LED. That when I wake up, I go, oh, I can still sleep another hour.
Thank God my iPhone 11 just automatically changes time.
Woke up this morning and went, oh, hell, I'm late.
Ouch.
And I ran out to pour myself a cup, and I realized that I wasn't late at all. I was quite early.
Yeah.
So
I was up this morning and wandering around the house at about 20 minutes after 5 and realized that, again, it was not 20 minutes after 6. Even though I had Sunday as a dress rehearsal, I still was like, meh.
So anyway, but I just have a hard time adjusting to it getting dark so early in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because
by 5 usually.
Yeah,
by 5 it's like full dark.
The sun is falling pretty well, but by 5. Did you hear about these two teenagers in Livingston Parish that were taken by a man at gunpoint?
Yes, read about that yesterday morning.
All right, so
these girls were smart.
Well, one of them, her daddy says, he taught her to fight back and to not let anybody take her. And she basically grabbed the wheel and caused a wreck.
Yep.
And then she and her friend, they were both abducted, bailed out. The driver limped out. She screamed to a couple passerby, you know, he's got a gun, he abducted us. They basically, they performed a little roadside CPR on him.
Yeah.
They bounced him off the concrete 4 or 5 times.
A little on-the-spot justice.
Yeah.
I'll bet.
And then they hooked him up. 39-year-old Albert Levine. They still don't know what this guy is all about and why he did this.
I think if you're, we've seen enough of this in the past. We know what you're all about. You try to abduct 2 15-year-old girls at gunpoint. You're hoping to chain them up in your basement or in the spare room and have your way with them whenever the hell you want to. What was that? I'm trying to remember the guy that they caught up in one of the Midwestern cities.
Oh, the one in Cleveland.
Cleveland.
He
had 6 girls in his basement.
For over 2 years.
Yeah, 6 girls. And again, the only thing that these girls did wrong was they got in the car with him at all in the first place. If somebody is in a public place and he's trying to coerce you into his vehicle at gunpoint, say, no, shoot me out here in front of all these people.
Well, that's it.
They're not going to do it. They don't want to shoot anybody. They want to abduct live girls.
Well, I've never forgotten what Ken Patton of Patton's Jewelry told me years ago when we used to do his advertising, and he used to hand me $30,000, $40,000 worth of jewelry so that we could photograph it or put it into television commercials and all that. And he said, here's the deal. If somebody says, give me the jewelry, give it to them. We're insured.
Mm-hmm.
He said, if somebody says, get in the car, you know what that means? He said, that means they're afraid to shoot you where you are.
Yep.
So you always say no when somebody says, get in the car.
Yep. But at least one of the girls, if not both of them, thought once they got into the car, that's it.
Yeah.
We can't let this guy drive us to God knows where, and that's when they started fighting for the steering wheel with him. So smart girls. Smart girls, and God bless them, and I'm glad that they're going to be, they were all hurt in the crash, by the way. All of them taken to the hospital, but as we understand it, their injuries are non-life-threatening.
Yeah, they're bumped and bruised from the crash that they caused.
But, this is what we like to see more of, when these kinds of sick SOBs do this kinds of stuff, and they're caught. And little old-fashioned karma comes down on them pretty much right away.
Yeah, I want to hear more details after they've had a chance to interview this guy. He actually had to be hospitalized for about 8 or 9 hours, and then they said, "Oh, we'll take him from here." A couple of homicides this weekend, again in Baton Rouge, and then we had a really, really large suicide. It was called the LSU football team.
Thank you.
After shooting themselves in the foot 8 or 9 times.
Wait a minute. I read the Advocate. The Advocate said LSU won that game.
What?
Did you see that?
No.
The Advocate got the score absolutely ass backwards.
Whoa.
And printed it. And they printed it. It's so funny because on the page, the incorrect score is right underneath the slug line that tells them that they recently received the coveted Pulitzer Prize, blah, blah, blah. It's like...
Well, for that one, they get the Pulitzer Prize.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was hard to watch.
I didn't.
That was hard to watch.
I spared myself the agony. But
now, again, I don't normally get into the fire this coach or fire that coach thing. I normally don't play that game. But that defense either doesn't want to do what Bo Pelini is telling them to do,
or he's just giving them bad instruction.
Yeah, I don't know, but they have to do something. I mean, other than Auburn trying to give the ball away 3 times during the game, they ran roughshod over our defense. The only bright spot was they brought Max Johnson in to take over from TJ Finley. And again, he's a true freshman. He looked pretty darn good. He was good at getting rid of the ball quickly, and he's left-handed, so it's deceptive. You're not used to watching it that way. Mm-hmm. He's got a cannon. So, unfortunately, the next game is now this week we play Open Date. I think we'll beat them. If we can hang on to the football, if we don't put it on the ground.
I don't know. I've heard Open Date's got a really wicked team this year.
I think we can beat Open Date. But then after that, Nick Saban comes to town with Alabama.
I don't think this is the year. I'm sorry. Oh, ye of little faith. Kevin expresses little faith. It's like, I'm just a realist. I don't think this is the year.
They lost 32 members of the championship team.
Yeah.
They only carry 55 scholarships.
Yeah.
You do the math on that.
Yeah. It's a rebuilding year. It's a rebuilding year.
It's a rebuilding year.
It's a rebuilding year.
No, it's a clear the lot, scrape it, flatten it out, roll it.
Yeah. Putting down new rebar and concrete in the stadium. That's how bad they're rebuilding.
This isn't putting a little mother-in-law suite on the back of your house.
No. Saints managed to eke it out, though.
Yeah.
So, and it was one of those, I don't want to call it a miraculous win, but they managed to. Well, I'm used to the Saints that snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. It's the other way around.
And the Bears are huge this year.
Yeah.
The Bears are huge. I mean, this is not the old Chicago Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears are playing real well this year. The Bears. But won it in overtime.
Mm-hmm. So that's a little bit going for you. As I expected, trick-or-treating was not a busy thing in my neighborhood. We'll compare notes. We're going to take a break first, take care of some business. And we have Congressman Garret Graves as our guest this hour.
Karen hid all the leftover candy from me, by the way.
I was going to sack it all up and just bring it here and dump it on the bar.
Karen hid it from me. You want to talk about somebody that has no faith.
We'll be right back with more of Exiles TV. Stay with us.
taste the feeling.
The mayor-president is spending $1 billion of our taxes just this year, yet we still have one of the most violent cities in America. Homicides have exploded. The mayor blames many things for this, except one, criminals. We're short of patrols. We need 100 new patrol officers on our streets. Our police need a $10,000 a year raise to ensure quality recruits. It's not hard. Just shift 3% of the budget to law and order. And trust me, I will.
Jordan Piazza, Mayor-President.
Welcome back, Exiles TV. So Halloween 2020, the governor and the mayor-president and they all decided not to stick it to the little children, let them have their Halloween.
Actually, I think we're trying to get rid of them.
And there weren't
germ factors.
There weren't a lot of rules or regs. I think that they understand, as long as you do the usual thing, that maintain your 6 feet, blah blah blah. It went well, but my neighborhood, when we first moved into my neighborhood 20 years ago, that was a hot spot for Halloween. People would bring their kids to trick or treat in our neighborhood. Last Saturday night, we had an initial gang,
a surge,
including parents, maybe about 18 or 20. And then after that, it was 3 or 4 here, 3 or 4 there, 15 minutes in between. I got a ton of candy left over. It's just, I worry that Halloween is dying. It's dying on the vine, my friend.
Well, I just don't know that kids are that interested. We went and we set up...
And free candy?
Well, we set up a table on the driveway, and we had jack-o'-lantern lights around it and all that. And from where we were, we could see 3 parties. Now, 2 of them were for teens, okay? And they were well attended. And 1 was for little ones. And that group was our first group. They came running up the driveway. It looked like a scene from an Old West movie. If they were only wearing, longhorn steer costumes, it would have been a stampede. And the parents were with them. And then after that, it was onesies and twosies. But I have found now, what you have to do is, if you want to amuse yourself, you need to look at mom and what she's wearing and what she's driving. We definitely had the fitness moms walking around with the kids this year.
Oh, the dressed just a little on the trashy side?
No. They were in like workout
their
gear,
workout
but
stuff.
Very trim, very trim. And
we had a couple groups where the mom was a little on the trashy side.
Yeah, the small Audi SUV seemed to be the vehicle of choice.
Cars? Why are people driving cars to trick or treat in your neighborhood?
Well, what they do is they get the kids to the end of the street, they let them all out, and then they'll come and talk, and then the kids will pile in and they'll go to another street.
See, ours, what they do is, if anything, they put the kids in like a wagon, and they pull them around in the wagon.
Now, see, we have a lot of that, but I'm talking about a lot of these kids that were with mom. They were teeny tiny. These kids were like 2, 3, 4 years old.
Toddlers.
Yeah.
They toddle.
One of them had on the cutest costume. He was a little astronaut. And mom was with him, and I said, "Are you going to fly in space?" And he went, and I thought to myself, Mom?
No, probably not.
No, this kid's never going to fly in space, Mom. We do have the short bus that circulates once a day in the neighborhood, and this one will definitely be on it.
Well, and there is a.
And then
At what point are they
he
too
couldn't
young?
open his candy.
At what point are they too young? Because if they can't, if they have to be carried, and they're not, there's no way they're going to say trick or treat. The most you're going to get, Teddy. It's like,
But see,
maybe a little too young.
I like to do early magnet school screening on Halloween. I engage them, and if they engage back, it's like I look at mom and go.
Yep.
If they're like, if he's sticking the M&Ms up his nose, I'm like,
but here's another factor.
Private school is not even going to help.
Here's another factor of trick or treating, and this is the society and how it's affected Halloween. I'm not saying it's wrong, but we have immersed kids year long in stranger danger, stranger danger. Don't go up to the door of someone's home that you don't normally visit. And for God's sakes, if you do, don't talk to them. And then one night a year, you're supposed to walk up to the man and say trick or treat. And here's a stranger. In our case, somebody looks like me at the door. I've had parents grab their children by the arm in the supermarket and pull, get away from that man. So
stranger danger at Halloween. What about, let's say, about 20 days from now? All right? You tell your kids, don't let people touch you. And you take them to see this giant lard butt who is sitting on a throne who goes, and you let him grab them and sit on his lap. Really?
Yeah. My mom made, I bought that Santa suit a year
I know
ago,
you did.
And my mom made me do some serious soul searching whether I actually wanted to do it. She was taking a look at the suit, and the suit is made to, the coat and the pants are like leather, like a coachman might actually wear.
Like Naughty Santa?
Well, no, it's just like it's made out of, it's supposed to look like leather, like, somebody who's going to be out in the wind at 30,000 feet.
But Santa wears red velour.
Santa frees his ass off in red velour.
No, he's got magic power.
It's based. It was a Santa suit based on a movie.
He has a flying sleigh.
Anyway,
that is pulled by reindeer that still move their feet even though they're in the sky.
Anyway, let me go on and finish the story.
Please.
The pants are not real leather, but they're pleather. And she said, "Oh, so much better when the kid pees in your lap."
I love your mom. I love her.
So now I'm thinking, you meet me on Mercari. I got a Santa suit for sale.
Yes, indeed. The screaming
and plus
children.
I've been practicing with kids all year long, being sweet and kind and nice to kids, and they're scared of me. So I may have to, retire, rethink that whole Santa thing.
Don't take it personally.
So, I don't think KG's going to be Santa this year.
Yowzer. But again,
I worked on my gut all year long for this, man.
I have kids in the neighborhood, little ones. I have kids in the neighborhood that are so well trained by their parents that, if I'm out walking the dogs, all kids want to run up and pet the dog, right?
Right.
But most of the kids will not come up unless I'm walking by and their parents have seen us, and the parents say, yeah, that's Mr. Bill, and that's Charlotte, or that's Rhea, depending on which dog, and it's okay.
Go nuts.
But then trick or treat, they walk up to dark houses, people wearing masks, give me candy. It's like, oi.
I love Halloween, and I love handing out candy to kids. By the way, this year, most of the candy, my niece Rhiannon did her own makeup. She did her own makeup, and that included like a prosthesis. She looked like she had big, remember the Joker from that Batman film?
Yeah.
Where he had like scars?
Yeah.
And safety pins through that. And of course, it wasn't real. It was a prosthesis, but she did her own. I think we got a budding makeup artist.
It sounds like she's got some talent.
Yeah, she looked really, really good. And she sat out there and handed out candy to the kids, and it was an okay night. But I'm going to be glad if we can get some more Halloween traffic rolling in the years ahead. I didn't expect much in the age of COVID, but Halloween used to be my favorite holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like, I worry that we're killing it. All right, time for another commercial break. We'll take care of that.
Back in a moment.
And we got more Exiles TV.
In her tenure, the mayor-president has spent almost $4 billion of our taxes. She's had so much, but done so little. We're near the top nationally in revenues collected, but rock bottom in quality of services. Pay more, get less. That's failure. I'm Jordan Piazza. I'm a small businessman, not a career politician. With impressive new ideas, bold conservative management, and plenty of energy to eliminate politics, we can renew our success. And trust me, we will.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Surprise, something good has finally happened in 2020. Yours truly, the Clarence Bugg Show, gets to be with you every day of the week. That's right, 11 to 12 every weekday. And of course, the Exiles right in front of yours truly from 10 to 11, yours truly 11 to 12. So now it's appointment viewing. 5 days a week here on the Pelican. The Clarence Bugg Show. The only thing missing is you.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Right now, during the Team Honda Upgrade event, get a new 20 Accord Sport for just $309 a month with no money down, no first payment, and no security deposit. It's time to upgrade to your new Honda at Louisiana's #1 new car dealer, Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Hey, welcome back. It's Exiles TV. Some other things in the news that are not so pleasant. We've had officers shot in New Orleans. 2 of them were ambushed.
Guy was in a pedicab.
Yeah, that's what's strange. The guy was in what they call him, a pedicab, or some people call him a rickshaw. But and this guy decided to shoot a cop. Strange, but now the suspect has been released from the hospital, booked into jail. The officers were not killed, by the way. The officers shot in New Orleans in recent days were not killed.
One was shot in the face, the other one was grazed in the arm.
Yeah, but I'd like to know where this just, see a cop, shoot a cop mentality is coming from. Wait a minute, we know where it's coming from. We got a situation where we have the lunatics running the asylum these days, and wrong is right and right is wrong, and everything is that has to do with police is the police's fault, and all cops are bastard, defunds the police.
I
just don't get it.
We just have people that want to shoot somebody too. I mean,
some people just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah, I mean this guy was from out of town.
So was he doing some police murder tourism? Why, I've shot cops in some of the greatest cities in the United States.
I've shot cops in Elyria, Ohio, and who knows?
Here's a mug, and the guy's name is Donnell Hassel, age 44, charged with 2 counts of attempted murder of police.
And where's he from?
It does not say in this story if he was an out-of-towner.
One of the stories said it was that the guy they had was...
Shooting happened at Royal Street at St. Philip. Hassel allegedly was in a pedicab when he passed by the New Orleans PD cruiser and opened fire. My question is, was he a passenger in the pedicab or was he operating the pedicab?
He's a passenger.
So what do you tell the driver, hey, pull up next to this cop car, I want to do some dirt?
No, he was just target of opportunity. He was going to shoot somebody that day.
Wow. But he's in custody, so we'll see what happens there. And the other thing going on in New Orleans that's a little odd is there are apparently 11 voting districts that do not have power left over from Hurricane Zeta last week.
Uh-oh.
And the mayor, rather than getting proactive, and if they don't have generators, going out and buying some generators.
With what? That city is broker than you and me.
They've got enough money to go to Home Depot and buy 11 generators.
No, because they're going to try to use a city of New Orleans credit card, and they're going to say, no.
What the mayor is doing is she's putting it on the Secretary of State. She's saying it's up to the Secretary of State to provide them with generators or find some way to get power to these polling stations. And if the Secretary of State's office doesn't take care of that, then he is disenfranchising the voters in those 11 polling places.
Well, you know what? It's an interesting question. I wonder if it is the duty of the Secretary of State to provide power in the event of an outage at a polling place. He is the chief elections officer.
Well, what's the responsibility of the city in having their own elections?
Well, but it's not a city election.
It is a city election.
It is a national election and a statewide election. Yeah, but I mean, they don't control elections.
The city decides where the polling places are. It's not the Secretary of State's fault that they don't have power. The city should be proactive and right the problem instead of waiting around with their hand out for the state to take care of them once again.
But see, you and I both, all we have is an opinion. I wonder what the law is.
I don't know what the law is.
If the Secretary...
Of course, you know me. I never know what the law is.
Well, that's true. Never let it stop you before.
Exactly. I never let ignorance keep me from a career in journalism and broadcasting.
The Secretary of State, in addition to being the state archivist, is also the state's chief election official. Not officer, official. The Secretary of State office conducts elections. That is in their portfolio. So, if they see that a polling place has no power, is it up to them to conduct that election for that polling place somewhere there is power, or to get power to them?
That's a good question.
That's a really good question.
Knowing Kyle Ardoin, because we know the Secretary of State, do you think that he'll jump and, oh, yes, ma'am, we'll get you some generators there right away?
Well, here's the thing. I think if it was, I think if it was his responsibility, he would have already been there, knowing him as we do. Now, he may not have been informed. The Secretary of State's office may not have been informed that they still have no power at these polling places. Because the Secretary of State can also...
Have to have been if I've read it on two different television station websites, you could bet the SOS has been informed.
All right, but let's say they are. Let's say they have been informed as of Friday. All right? You think everybody's got a bunch of generators laying around after we've had 5 hurricanes hit South Louisiana in 3 months?
No. I'm saying that if they needed to, her office or Department of Public Works or somebody or the Secretary of State's office could get on the phone and get some generators here.
One would think.
But it's a waiting game because one doesn't want to be proactive and just get it done. One wants to point a finger and say, I got people who can't vote. I got people who can't vote, and I'm not going to do a damn thing about it. It's up to you if you want them to vote.
Well, it's going to be interesting. Any of our legal eagles out there know whether or not it's the Secretary of State's. There's something going on outside our window. I'm not sure what.
We got one of the kind of people that has conversations with himself. God forbid that he's hanging out.
All right. While you're looking at that, here's something interesting.
Nobody in any authority is chiming in, by the way. So there you go.
Well, maybe we can make an inquiry during one of our commercial breaks.
Maybe we can.
Here's something interesting. The seat that Bill Cassidy is running for re-election in, there are 13 people in that race.
Right. I can name you one other than Bill Cassidy.
Yeah, Adrian Perkins is the most well-financed and most visible Democrat challenger, mayor of Shreveport. He has spent a lot of money. He's got the support of the DNC, but also you got Derek Edwards is being supported by Cedric Richmond and another high-profile Democrat politician from the New Orleans area. I've forgotten who, but with that many people in, is a runoff for Bill Cassidy almost inevitable? What do you think?
No.
No?
I'm gonna say a runoff is possible, but I think it's also entirely possible that he wins outright tomorrow. Just because Adrian Perkins does not have any statewide recognition.
No. He's been buying a lot of television.
His television ads have all been attack ads rather than let me tell you who I am. Not all of his ads. Some of his ads have been his own cred.
Well, but many times that works.
But a lot of times, even if you get ads on statewide television, if you're the guy from Shreveport or the guy from Monroe, it's not going to help you out on a statewide level. So I think it's possible that Cassidy wins re-election outright. I think that the better possibility is it's he and Perkins in the runoff, nobody else. Just he and Perkins in the runoff, at which time, bam, he'll take it.
I mean, so here's the thing. You know, the people that don't have any statewide recognition, like our friend Ralph Abraham. You know, Ralph and you and I became good buddies over the last 4 years.
Well, because his district extended into the capital area, so we'd have him on our radio show.
But when he ran for governor, he couldn't get any traction with the rest of the state. But see, that's also because there was another Republican. There are going to be a great many people that are going to pull the Adrian Perkins lever because he's a Democrat. And because he has bought a fairly conspicuous amount of airtime on television all around the state, so he is going to get, I say he comes out with 28 to 30% of the vote. Now, the question is, can the other, that leaves 13,
water that thing down bad enough to force it?
Can they get 4 or 5 points each? Probably not. Derek Edwards, that's his name, he might get 3 points. 3 or 4.
We are coming up on another break. Before we go to a break, question for you. And Jonathan, if you would get the graphic ready. Are you sick and tired of hearing our legislators whine and complain about fiscal cliffs every time it comes time to do the annual budget? Oh, we got a fiscal cliff, and they try to scare us that the state doesn't have any money, and that makes it okay for them to raise taxes. Amendment 4 on the ballot tomorrow. If you haven't already voted, we're going to urge you to vote for Amendment 4 because it offers budget stability. When you have budget stability, that means economic growth, that means jobs. If you'd like more information, if you have not gone to the polls, go to pelicanaction.org. You can read more about Amendment 4 and all the other amendments on the ballot. But vote for Amendment 4, paid for by Pelican Action. And we appreciate you getting out, casting that vote. Remember, if you haven't early voted, it's not too late. Tomorrow is Election Day. Here's all I want to say, Bill, about voting. Number one, remember that there are places, South America, South Africa, what they call sometimes the third world, but there are spots on the map where they have elections. But you are taking a risk of getting your head caved in if you go to vote, because there are people that support the regime that wants to stay in power, and they have thugs, they don't have laws
about it. Or they
about
support the revolutionaries who want to take power.
Or they support the revolutionaries, but for one reason or another, a lot of these other countries don't have hardly enforced rules about electioneering. So in some places, people don't vote because they're afraid they'll get beat up if they go to vote.
Well, and you got some places like Iran where the incumbent always wins with 98.7% of the vote.
Yeah. Or in Russia, where Vladimir Putin was elected with 100% of the vote. Is that crazy?
By acclamation.
Is that crazy? But please don't waste your opportunity. Don't think that your vote doesn't matter. Imagine if, we're a flyover state, Louisiana. Imagine if we all just thought, well, Louisiana's going to go red. It doesn't matter. And we all, and in the electoral college, it doesn't matter. So we really don't need to vote. then we'd wind up with probably some representation we didn't originally want.
There is more to vote for than just president and United States Senate, United States Congress. There are a lot of important things to somebody in our viewing area or in every one of our viewing areas because they're distinct metros as well.
Now I'm going to get political about who to vote for, and I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. I'm just going to say, listen, I know you may be loyal to one party or another, but remember, when you go in tomorrow and you pull that curtain closed behind you, you can vote any way your gut tells you. So don't vote for a love letter to a Joe or a Donald, okay? Vote for, as a meme on the internet puts it, make your vote a chess move for the kind of world you want to live in for the next 4 years.
I agree with you on that.
And nobody needs to know. And if you want to tell a fib, they go, did you vote for Joe? Say, yeah, I voted for Joe. If they go, hey, you vote for Donald, right? Say, yeah, I voted for Donald. Tell them whatever you want. Vote whatever your heart dictates. Try not to let that decision be one that's made purely on emotion, because frankly, when we're talking about the president, they're both reprehensible individuals. They're both of them. Donald Trump is a rough talker and not the nicest guy on earth.
Let's not get too editorial here.
But he gets things done. Joe is a rough talker. He's got character flaws that we all speculate about. Just don't make it a love letter to either guy. Just go in and vote your gut.
And when we come back, I've got one paragraph that was written by Teddy Roosevelt after he had left the presidential suite, when he was no longer running, when he was asked to talk about, and it was an election year, talk about contentious politics at that time. Now again, this is in the first 20% of the 20th century. But what he has to say about voting and appeals of candidates is very interesting, and I'll read that to you when we come back on Exiles TV. Stick around.
Valello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Valello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
By all standards, he is a champion for consumers. Because of Public Service Commissioner Eric Skrmetta, our utility rates are 35% less than the national average, the lowest in all of America. He saved ratepayers over $8 billion. Commissioner Skrmetta brought us more reliable power plants and energy-efficient solar fields. Public Service Commissioner Eric Skrmetta. Keep the commissioner who keeps our rates low.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
During COVID, many local businesses have been treated unfairly. The big box stores continue making money, but not many of our local businesses. I know firsthand. As your mayor president, I'll fully open the economy while protecting the vulnerable. But I want our people and businesses back working again. I'll not rest until we change our economy with new, innovative, and larger businesses with greater payrolls.
A clear leader for unclear times. Jordan Piazza, Mayor President.
We can succeed again, and trust me, we will.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Hey, welcome back. It's Exiles TV. Marty, do me a favor, man. Pull a close-up in on me for a second while we set up a chair, and we'll get Congressman Graves up onto this stage, okay? We got a lot of stuff to talk about with the congressman as he is running for another term.
I bet he had to go deliver a baby.
Yeah, we just walked in. Just walked in the door.
We were doing the Baton Rouge Police
Got the chair? We're good.
All right, here we go. Let me get you all mic'd up.
I figured the day before the election you would be
we're gonna
pretty
put
busy.
put this on your tie if you don't
mind. We were a
mind.
little worried that we weren't
It
going
has
to get him,
soft
but
teeth.
Congressman Graves is here with us now. So, without further ado, please welcome District 6 Congressman from Louisiana, Garret Graves, with us.
So how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. We actually just had a super morning, which is why I was a few minutes late. The 86th Training Academy of Baton Rouge Police Department.
Oh, yes. Wow.
They just graduated, so we were doing the swearing-in ceremony, and just an awesome opportunity to join them, especially in this environment we're in right now, to see these people that are stepping up willingly to help be peace officers.
That's good news for Baton Rouge. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of things, I have nominated you every time I've had a mic in front of me for having the best campaign commercials that I have ever seen in my life.
Wow.
The delivery room, Karen saw it for the first time on open air TV. I think it was Friday night, and I think she's still laughing.
I got to tell you, we were laughing cutting the commercial to where we had to stop, cut, because we would be laughing when we were doing it. So, but it was a lot of fun. But I think it brings up, it brings up a really serious issue about the craziness of surprise medical bills and just this whole opaque nature of healthcare. And it's something that needs to be fixed. But thank you, and we did enjoy it.
Well, let's talk about it. Nothing is ever foregone, but I think you have what people would call a comfortable lead in your re-election campaign, which kind of allows you to speak your mind a little more openly when you're out campaigning. What's the top of your chart right now?
Yeah, the first thing that we hear is usually some type of healthcare or COVID related. So everything from we're frustrated by all these restrictions and it's undermining our business to healthcare costs, like we talked about, drug costs. People concerned about pre-existing condition coverage. So I think healthcare, sort of in a more generic way, is the top issue we hear. But from there, consistently continuing to hear things about traffic, continuing to hear things about flood protection, and issues along those lines. But those are definitely top three.
The one thing I think is fair to say about your style of service is that you don't tend to get all bogged down in the partisanship. And want to just have that big partisan fight. You'd rather spend your time trying to actually get things accomplished. My question is, when it seems like the partisan divide is getting worse and worse and worse all the time, especially in the House. How are you able to get anything done? How are you able to get drainage bills taken care of and get money for the Comey diversion and things like that?
Yeah, Kevin, look, the divisiveness, this partisan fighting that's happening, it has gotten to levels I've never seen before and very difficult to imagine. But look, people didn't send me just to go get in fights. Yes, I need to be a vocal representative of people's voice, but at the end of the day, people want to see points on the board. They want to see things done. And so you've got to strike that balance of being a vocal advocate for your people and for the issues that are most important to them, but you can't just sit there and yell and scream all day. You've got to actually get things done. So it is about walking that line and making sure that you're not just being a mouthpiece, but actually figuring out how to get things done. And I'll tell you, in this crazy environment, just in the last about three and a half months, we've had 37 of our bills, of our amendments or provisions we wrote, pass the House of Representatives. In fact, the president just this weekend signed one of our bills into law having to do with nutrient population controls for the coast. So it really concerns me when you see those people that think that their job is just to be a mouthpiece, because I think at the end of the day, you have got to deliver the results to complement you voicing the people's concerns. And that's what we focus on, is making sure that we're actually getting results.
Do you have to stay to some extent under the speaker's radar?
You know, I'm just going to be really.
That maybe wasn't the best way to word that, but you know what I'm saying.
I'm just going to say that the speaker is 100% political 100% of the time, and so I just stay off her radar. There's no reason for me to engage with her candidly, because she is always thinking about what she can do to advance her party's interest, not people's interest, in my opinion.
It's like no good will come of this.
I know that's a really, kind of tough statement, but just in the years that I've seen her, I have not seen her act in a way that is motivated by anything other than her party's interest, and I just think it's.
I don't think anybody's surprised hearing that. I mean, I really don't. What I think about now is what's going to happen. You know, people talk about this candidate and that candidate, and it comes down to taxes and things like that, and jobs, and really all taxes originate in the House of Representatives. It's a civics lesson that Kevin and I have been giving for weeks now. Do you think that there will be more or less Republican seats in the House on November 4th?
Well, the good news, I think, is that you have seen more of these Democrat seats go into the toss-up, go in within the margin of error within the past few weeks, which I think gives us a bit of a fighting chance. There's some really good. This is the best group of candidates I've ever seen on the Republican side. More diverse, more women, more Hispanics, more African Americans, more people that just reflect, I think, the United States in the districts around this country, the 435 districts around this diverse country. So I think we've got a really good slate of candidates, and I think that we've got a good shot in some of these races that have been held traditionally by more liberal members. And so if we can get a good showing in the election, I think we'll be able to continue making progress in helping to make the U.S. a more competitive economy, like we saw after the tax bill in December of 2017. Hundreds of billions of dollars of foreign investment immediately came into the United States as a result, and I think we can make more progress there.
If you don't mind, as an observer who is at closer hand than we are, how about the Senate? Is it going to stay about the way it is, or are we in danger of having a Democrat-controlled Senate?
Look, I think anything is possible. Let's keep in mind, I think it was around day 3 in Louisiana where you had more votes cast than in all of 2016. I mean, this is unprecedented time. So all those people that are out there polling and predicting and all that, just like me, this is unprecedented. And so there's no model to follow. I'll just tell you that based on some of the individual Senate seats, looking at the competitiveness of Colorado, of Arizona, of Iowa, of Michigan, of Maine, Alabama. I think Republicans pick up the seat in Alabama that's currently a Democrat seat, Senator Jones. So I think that you're going to see some shifts. If I had to guess, the margin's going to get a little bit tighter, but I think that Republicans have a good shot of maintaining control.
Now, as we move forward, there are still people that in this state that are not working. They feel that our unemployment compensation needs to be stepped up. In the Pointy building downtown, they're saying, well, we gave all the excess money back for FEMA for relief, and we're waiting on Washington. I don't know whether that's the absolute truth or not, but we also have been told about a second stimulus check for about 4.5 months now. What are we seeing there in Washington?
What we're seeing in Washington is political parties that have hijacked our own government. Just to give you one little factoid, there's $138 billion that we previously appropriated to offer a lifeline to self-employed folks, to small businesses, so they can keep paying employees. $138 billion sitting in the bank, previously appropriated, and they are, Speaker Pelosi leadership is preventing this from going to a vote. So this could have been voted on back in July, and the money could have been flowing out. I think that you will see after the election, unfortunately, whenever folks stop representing political parties and start representing people, I think you'll see a direct stimulus payment to individuals. I'm hopeful that we can target it to the individuals that need it most, as opposed to just giving it to everyone. Number two, I think you'll see another round of a Paycheck Protection Program, additional funding for testing, additional funding for schools, including internet connectivity for those that are suffering and aren't able to participate in classrooms because of insufficient connectivity. And so those are things that everyone, I think, would agree on. On the unemployment, there's no doubt in my mind that bill that became law back in the end of March, it was overly generous. I mean, to the point to where you're paying people, in some cases, double or more the amount of money to stay home as they were when they were working.
Yeah, we saw that in the service industry.
Disincentive.
So I'm hopeful that we can move early next year on an infrastructure package. Don't pay people to stay home. Pay them to build a new bridge for us. Pay them to build flood protection and levees for us. Let's create jobs for people, and let's not pay them to stay home. That makes no sense, and there's nothing in America's history that indicates that's a strategy that works.
But we also have a lot of executive level people who have got gray hair, they're down the road a little bit, who were not hourly workers, who companies where they could have gone for employment opportunities have closed when their companies closed. Now, you've got to take care of these people, because these people are all paying mortgages. These people are maybe supporting kids in college and things like that. And their prospects are a lot more grim than someone who worked in the service industry.
So let's be clear. There is an underlying unemployment program that exists. What happened back in March is that a program for unemployment was paying people the equivalent of $40,000 a year or more.
Yeah, that was
for staying home.
That was huge.
So there still is an underlying unemployment program. It's just not overly generous like the one that became law back in March. Number two, if you do targeted stimulus payments, what I mean is let's focus on the people that need it most. Let's not go out and just cut a check to everybody, especially the people who maybe are making more money this year than they've ever made before. Let's focus on the people that need it. Number three, even by creating jobs like building a new bridge or better flood protection or other things that need to be done in our community, you're creating jobs which does help everyone, because maybe somebody younger shifts to one of these construction jobs that then creates an office job for someone like you described. So it really does create more opportunity.
We need to take a quick break. We'll come back with Congressman Garret Graves and wrap it up on Exiles TV. Stick around. I want to remind you that our mics are still hot.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Fruget Jr., and I am a general dentist at Fruget Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
The mayor-president is spending $1 billion of our taxes just this year, yet we still have one of the most violent cities in America. Homicides have exploded. The mayor blames many things for this, except one: criminals. We're short of patrols. We need 100 new patrol officers on our streets. Our police need a $10,000 a year raise to ensure quality recruits. It's not hard. Just shift 3% of the budget to law and order. And trust me, I will.
Jordan Piazza, Mayor President.
Right now, choose any new 20 Mazda and get 0% for 60 months, plus 90 days deferred payments during the Team Mazda upgrade event happening now at Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bugg Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
Not much time left with Congressman Garret Graves. Remember, tomorrow is Election Day. We will be here tomorrow morning as well. Garret, you want to take the last minute and tell anybody anything at all?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, first I just want to thank you all again, Bill and Kevin. I appreciate the opportunity to join you again.
Always a pleasure.
But yeah, here's my quick message. So look, you see what's going on, all of this controversy, all this divisiveness that's happening. At the end of the day, representing is about people. It is. Leadership in terms of in government, it's about people. And I just want to urge every single one of you, get out there and let your voice be heard. Go participate in the voting process. I remind you, every single person's vote. You may be 18 years old, don't even have a job yet and just registered to vote, or you may be the retired CEO, billionaire of a company. Your votes are worth the same amount. Get out there and participate and make sure at the end of the day that the people that are representing Louisiana, representing you in office, actually represent you.
Very, very well said. I don't think you'll need it, but it's customary for us to say good luck at the polls tomorrow.
Thank you.
And we look forward to being with you on the other side. If you're going to be in town, we maybe do a little post-game analysis on all the races with you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Until tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Take care. Clarence Buggs is up next.